Discipline is not a gift bestowed upon a lucky few. It's a habit forged in the fires of intentional action. And let's be clear, discipline isn't about feeling motivated all the time. It's about doing what needs to be done, whether or not you feel like it. It's the realization that you are capable of far more than you imagine, but only if you are willing to step into the arena of responsibility. Responsibility is the cornerstone of discipline. Without it, you're adrift, blaming circumstances, people, or luck for the gaps in your life. Start small, but think big. You don't have to conquer Everest today, but you do need to lace up your boots and take a single step. Maybe it's as simple as making your bed every morning or scheduling an hour of uninterrupted work. These small victories snowball into a momentum that shapes your character over time. If you think the small things don't matter, you're mistaken. They matter more than you can comprehend because they define your daily existence. Organize your environment. Chaos breeds chaos. If your workspace is cluttered, if your schedule is random, or if your relationships are toxic, how can you expect discipline to flourish? Structure your world in a way that eliminates distractions and aligns your actions with your priorities. Your environment isn't just physical, it's mental too. What thoughts, beliefs, and habits are you letting run unchecked? You have to clean those up as well. Discipline demands clarity. What do you want? And not in some vague daydreaming way. What do you really want? Write it down. Break it into actionable steps. Prioritize. Discipline thrives when the mind knows exactly what it's working toward. Without clear goals, you're just spinning your wheels, expending energy without progress. You also have to master the art of delaying gratification. This is no small task in a world of instant pleasure, where a moment's distraction is a tap away. But real fulfillment comes from long-term investment. Every time you resist the urge to procrastinate or indulge in something meaningless, you're telling yourself that your future self is worth it. And that's a powerful statement. Here's the truth. Discipline is uncomfortable. It will demand sacrifices. It will force you to endure frustration and boredom, but discomfort is the price of growth. The things you avoid, failure, struggle, pain, are precisely the things that teach you how to endure and prevail. Face them head on, and you'll find a version of yourself you didn't know existed. Finally, be forgiving with yourself. Discipline isn't a straight line. It's a process of falling and rising again. Reflect on your progress. Where did you succeed? Where did you falter? Learn, adjust, and keep moving forward. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. And that progress, over time, becomes the foundation of a disciplined life. When we talk about discipline, we often think of monumental achievements or grand acts of willpower. But the truth is, it all starts with something small. You don't need to revolutionize your entire life in one day. That's an overwhelming, unrealistic goal. Instead, you take a single step, something manageable, something achievable. The key is to recognize that small actions, repeated consistently, have a cumulative effect far greater than any single dramatic effort. Imagine a tiny seed planted in fertile soil. It doesn't become a towering tree overnight. It grows slowly, imperceptibly, but with each day it stretches toward the sky, rooted in something solid. Your efforts work the same way. A simple habit like writing a to-do list, getting up at a specific time, or dedicating just 10 minutes to a skill may seem inconsequential at first, but over weeks and months, it transforms the way you think and act. It lays the foundation for bigger things. However, this approach doesn't mean you abandon ambition. Small actions are powerful because they are connected to something larger. Without a clear vision of what you're working toward, those actions lack direction. Think of it like navigating a journey. You need to know where you're headed, even if your initial focus is just on the next mile. That big vision gives your small steps purpose and ensures they align with your broader goals. Discipline requires this dual mindset. Starting small but keeping your eyes on the bigger picture. It's about knowing that sweeping changes aren't sustainable without a foundation. And that foundation is built one brick at a time. Whether it's mastering a skill, improving your health, or creating a meaningful life, the small, deliberate choices you make daily are the quiet architects of lasting transformation. So each small action is an investment in the future version of yourself you're striving to become. Responsibility is the foundation of discipline because it forces you to confront the reality that your life is shaped by your choices. When you take responsibility, you acknowledge that you have control, even over things that seem overwhelming. This isn't about blame. It's not about burdening yourself with guilt or shame for where you are. It's about recognizing that no matter your circumstances, you have the power to respond and act. That shift in perspective changes everything. Responsibility isn't just something you carry, it's a tool you wield. The act of taking responsibility means refusing to outsource your problems to external forces. It's easy to blame others, to point to your environment, your upbringing, or even bad luck as reasons for your struggles. But discipline starts when you stop making excuses and accept that while those things may influence your situation, they don't define your potential. This mindset isn't always comfortable. Responsibility is heavy. It asks you to step into discomfort and confront the parts of yourself that need improvement. But with that weight comes power. And when you value responsibility, you begin to see every challenge as an opportunity. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? You ask, what can I do about it? That shift creates agency. It puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. You start to recognize patterns in your behavior and take ownership of the habits, decisions, and attitudes that hold you back. And more importantly, you take ownership of the actions that can move you forward. Taking responsibility also requires honesty. You have to be willing to admit when you've fallen short. It's not about self-criticism for its own sake, but about acknowledging the truth so you can make better choices. Responsibility isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about consistently asking yourself, what can I do right now to make this situation better? That question, when answered and acted upon repeatedly, builds discipline and creates meaningful change. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your behavior, often more than you realize. If you want to be disciplined, you must take control of the spaces around you and align them with your goals. A cluttered, chaotic environment breeds distraction and procrastination. It becomes an obstacle that makes discipline harder than it needs to be. But when your surroundings are intentional and structured, they support your efforts and make disciplined behavior almost automatic. So the first step is to eliminate unnecessary distractions. If something consistently pulls your attention away from what matters, it has to go. This isn't just about physical clutter, like a messy desk or a disorganized room, although those are important. It's also about digital distractions, the notifications, apps, and endless streams of content that steal your focus. By creating spaces where only the tools and resources you need are present, you remove the temptation to stray from your priorities. But organization goes beyond removing distractions. It's about actively designing an environment that promotes the habits you want to cultivate. For instance, if you're trying to read more, keep a book within reach instead of your phone. If you want to exercise, lay out your workout clothes the night before. These small changes make it easier to choose the disciplined path because the right action is always visible and accessible. Your environment also includes the people around you. Surround yourself with individuals who encourage your growth rather than hinder it. If you're surrounded by negativity or people who constantly distract you, discipline becomes an uphill battle. Seek out those who share your values or who challenge you to be better. The influence of your social environment is just as important as the physical one. Finally, remember that organization isn't about perfection or rigidity. It's about creating a space where your energy isn't wasted on trivial decisions or unnecessary distractions. Every moment spent looking for lost items or dealing with clutter is a moment taken away from meaningful progress. By organizing your environment, you set the stage for discipline to flourish naturally. Discipline is impossible without clarity. You can't be disciplined if you don't know what you're working toward. Clear goals give direction to your efforts and provide a framework for prioritizing what truly matters. When your goals are vague or undefined, your actions become scattered and ineffective. Clarity transforms discipline from a vague ideal into a practical strategy because it defines where your energy and focus should go. Setting clear goals starts with understanding what you genuinely want. This means being specific, not just saying, I want to be successful, but defining what success looks like for you. Is it achieving a certain level of fitness, reaching a specific milestone in your career, building meaningful relationships? The clearer the goal, the easier it is to break it down into manageable steps. Ambiguity leads to procrastination, while specificity creates a roadmap. Once you have clear goals, the next step is prioritization. Not all tasks are created equal, and trying to do everything at once is a recipe for burnout. Discipline isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things consistently. This requires asking yourself tough questions. Which tasks align most closely with my goals? What actions will have the greatest long-term impact? By focusing on what truly matters, you ensure that your efforts are meaningful, not just busy work. Prioritization also demands that you learn to say no. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, you're saying no to something that does. This doesn't mean you need to be rigid or dismissive, but it does mean you need to guard your time and energy fiercely. Discipline is about understanding that every choice you make either moves you closer to your goals or pulls you further away. Another key part of goal setting and prioritization is adaptability. As you progress, your goals might evolve, and that's okay. Discipline isn't about blindly sticking to a plan that no longer serves you. It's about consistently reevaluating your goals and adjusting your priorities to stay aligned with what's most important. The discipline to reflect and recalibrate ensures that you're always moving in the right direction. Clear goals and proper prioritization simplify decision-making. They give you a sense of purpose and a framework for action. With them, discipline stops feeling like an abstract challenge and becomes a series of intentional, focused steps toward a life of meaning and fulfillment. The ability to delay gratification is at the heart of discipline. It's the skill of resisting the temptation for an immediate reward in favor of a greater long-term benefit. This concept may sound simple, but it's one of the hardest challenges in a world filled with instant gratification. Everything around us, social media, fast food, streaming services, is designed to offer quick, effortless satisfaction. Let me tell you something everybody experiences. At least once in their life, they were in a situation, but true growth and fulfillment require resisting these short-term pleasures and investing in the future. Okay? Delaying gratification starts with understanding the value of what you're working toward. When you have a clear vision of your goals and what achieving them means for your life, it becomes easier to sacrifice fleeting comfort. The key is to focus on the bigger picture. For instance, skipping a night of binge watching to study or work on a project might not feel rewarding in the moment, but over time, those hours build into expertise, confidence, and success. So then, how do you diligently schedule your learning in the moment and make the reward is far greater than the temporary pleasure of a distraction? It's also important to recognize that instant gratification often comes at a cost. That cost might not be immediately visible, but it adds up. Every time you choose to indulge in something that doesn't align with your goals, you're robbing your future self of time, energy, or progress. Discipline means confronting this reality and making the harder choice in the moment because you know it leads to a better outcome down the line. Learning to delay gratification requires practice. Start small. It might mean resisting the urge to check your phone every time it buzzes, or choosing a healthy meal over a quick junk food fix. These small acts of self-restraint build your capacity to handle bigger challenges over time. You train your mind to tolerate discomfort and stay focused on what really matters. Each time you succeed, you reinforce the belief that you can overcome immediate impulses for the sake of long-term gain. This process isn't about deprivation, it's about empowerment. Delaying gratification isn't denying yourself pleasure. It's choosing the kind of pleasure that lasts. It's about finding satisfaction in progress, growth, and the knowledge that you're building something meaningful. The joy of achieving a goal or mastering a skill far outweighs the fleeting rush of giving in to a momentary desire. When you embrace this mindset, discipline stops feeling like a burden and becomes a source of pride and strength. Ultimately, delaying gratification is a form of self-respect. It's telling yourself that your long-term well-being and goals are worth more than any momentary indulgence. It's the ability to put aside what feels good now for what will make you proud later. That shift in perspective is the foundation of self-discipline and the key to creating a life of purpose and achievement. Growth and discomfort are inseparable. To achieve anything meaningful in life, you have to step outside the confines of your comfort zone and embrace the challenges that come with it. Discomfort isn't something to avoid. It's a signal that you're pushing your boundaries, stepping into the unknown, and engaging with the parts of yourself that require transformation. Every time you face discomfort and persevere, you expand your capacity to handle more, learn more, and become more. Discomfort often accompanies the process of learning and improvement, whether it's the soreness of your muscles after a workout, the frustration of mastering a difficult skill, or the vulnerability of trying something new. These experiences are signs that you're growing. They might feel unpleasant in the moment, but they are the very conditions that foster change. If you only stick to what is easy or familiar, you remain stagnant, missing out on the opportunities that come with challenge and effort. End quote. It's important to shift your perspective on discomfort. Instead of viewing it as a barrier, see it as a teacher. Discomfort reveals your limits and, more importantly, shows you where those limits can be expanded. When you face resistance, whether it's internal doubt or external obstacles, you're presented with a choice. You can retreat to comfort and stay the same, or you can embrace the struggle and grow stronger because of it. That choice defines your trajectory, not just in the moment, but over the course of your life. Discomfort is also a test of your commitment to your goals. Anyone can stay disciplined when things are easy, but the real test comes when you're tired, uncertain, or discouraged. Those moments of difficulty are where discipline is forged. They separate those who truly want to improve from those who merely wish for it. Each time you push through discomfort, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. That self-respect and confidence carry over into every other area of your life. It's not about seeking discomfort for its own sake. The point is to embrace it when it arises naturally as part of growth. Challenges are not obstacles to avoid. They're opportunities to develop resilience, patience, and strength. Whether it's facing failure, enduring setbacks, or persisting through mundane, repetitive tasks, these moments of discomfort are where the foundation of discipline is built. They teach you that pain and effort are not enemies. They are the price of progress. When you embrace discomfort, you also learn to tolerate uncertainty and risk. Growth often requires stepping into situations where the outcome isn't guaranteed. That vulnerability can be unsettling, but it's where real breakthroughs happen. By facing discomfort head on, you train yourself to stay focused and composed even when things are tough. This ability to endure and persist becomes one of your greatest strengths, allowing you to tackle bigger challenges and pursue greater goals. Discomfort isn't a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're trying, growing, and pushing yourself towards something better. Instead of fearing it, welcome it as an essential part of the journey. Each moment of discomfort is an opportunity to become a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself. Reflection and recalibration are essential components of maintaining discipline and making meaningful progress in any area of life. Discipline is not a static force. It's a dynamic process that requires constant assessment and adjustment. If you're truly committed to growth, you must regularly step back and evaluate your actions, your mindset, and the results you're getting. This is where reflection comes in. And it's not enough to simply go through the motions or keep pushing forward blindly. You need to pause and ask yourself, what's working, what isn't? Where am I succeeding, and where do I need to improve? Without reflection, you risk continuing down a path that isn't leading you toward your goals. It's easy to get caught up in the momentum of daily tasks and routines, but if you don't take the time to assess the bigger picture, you might find that you've veered off course. Reflection gives you the opportunity to step back, gain perspective, and identify areas where your efforts are falling short or where you may have overcomplicated things. It's a chance to take an honest look at yourself, your habits, and your progress, without judgment, but with a desire for improvement. Recalibration is the natural follow-up to reflection. After identifying what's not working or what can be improved, recalibration allows you to make necessary changes and realign your actions with your original goals. This might mean adjusting your strategy, changing your approach, or setting new priorities. It's about being flexible and adaptive, understanding that the path to success isn't linear, and that sometimes the best way forward is to reassess your current trajectory. Recalibration doesn't signify failure. It's a sign of maturity and self-awareness. It's the acknowledgement that, while your plan may not have worked perfectly the first time, you now have a better understanding of what needs to be done. Free, decide to fall, success or failure. The process of reflecting and recalibrating is an ongoing cycle, not a one-time event. Life is fluid and circumstances change, so your approach to discipline must also evolve. Regularly checking in with yourself allows you to stay grounded and ensure that your efforts are aligned with your long-term vision. It also helps you build resilience because you learn not to fear missteps, but to embrace them as part of the process. Every time you reflect and recalibrate, you improve your capacity to make better choices and fine-tune your actions toward what matters most. When you reflect, you gain clarity. When you recalibrate, you regain control. Together, these practices keep you grounded in your commitment to discipline while allowing you to stay adaptable and responsive to the challenges and opportunities that arise along the way. Each time you engage in this cycle, you become more equipped to handle the inevitable ups and downs of life, and you develop a deeper understanding of what it truly means to stay disciplined. Discipline is not an innate trait. It is a skill that can be developed through consistent effort and intentional practice. By starting small, embracing discomfort, organizing your environment, valuing responsibility, delaying gratification, setting clear goals, and reflecting regularly, you build the foundation for a disciplined life. It's a dynamic process, one that requires continual refinement and commitment. The road won't always be smooth, and there will be moments of struggle, but each step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your fullest potential. In the end, discipline isn't just about accomplishing tasks, It's about shaping the person you become through your choices and actions day by day.